Hello, this is Lisa LeRose here on Connect to Love on PRN-FM, and I want to welcome back not only Michael J. Russ, who has been on extended holiday, but also we have a very, very special guest. Carol Collins, America's Medium, is joining us today, and it is so exciting and so delightful. So I want to just say welcome and hello to both of you, and so excited for today's show.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So glad to be back.
Yeah. So we do this show completely unscripted, and that's what's so wonderful about having Carol join us, because when the guides jump in, it's amazing to see where the show flows. And I just want our audience to know that. And so I have been tuning into late night television, and one of the shows that I used to absolutely love was the show Laughed In, which I think we can all just enjoy the whimsy and the color and what if you have a chance to watch the reruns. But there was an episode on the show, and it was featuring the actress Lily Tomlin, and she used to play an operator. And back in the day, before we had these wonderful cell phones that we could get connected with anywhere we wanted to, there actually had to be a physical operator sitting at a switchboard, plugging people in, and she would connect you, operator, can you connect me to this person? Can you connect me to that person? Can you connect me? Can you connect me? And I started thinking about that this morning, and I thought about how we become connected so that we see ourselves as part of the greater whole. How do we do that? And I couldn't think of any better time to ponder that than with Carol Collins and the collective. And I know it's sort of a big topic, but I think about it like how we're all these individual things, and we don't really see ourselves getting connected. We have these guides, we have this ability to connect to source and really see ourselves as part of this greater whole. And it just is one of those things that I was, as a visual, thought would be a great way to kind of kick off the show. So I would love to hear your comments, Michael, first, and to see what you would like to ask, and to speak with Carol, first of all, or the collective if they would like to come in.
Perfect. Listen, I think it's an awesome topic, by the way. Connecting to our guides, connecting to those around us. The concept of connection is something that is always on my mind, because I'm always attempting to connect with someone wherever I go, even no matter how brief. And I know the collective is going to have something really wonderful to say about this. And Carol, let's take this away, because I'm excited about this topic. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here, and I'm personally thinking, wow, that's really profound. I love it. And it's funny because in the unfoldment classes, which are the mediumship classes, mediumship moving into channeling classes on Monday night, there's one person in class who is a beginner channeler, and his guide came through and was giving an experience that we all have. And he was using it as an example, and then gave, this beautiful nugget of wisdom after the example. And he was talking about, when you're driving on the highway and you're going from one state to another, there's always a welcome sign. There's always a welcome sign. Right. And cities and towns, many cities and towns have them as well. But always, at least in America and United States, there's always a welcome sign at every entrance point of the new state. Mm-hmm. And so it was a conversation that this student and that he was pondering, that isn't that nice that there's always a memory that we can go back to where we felt welcomed. And even though it's a shallow, minor, it's a drive-by, but it's a welcome, a whole sign. Like the whole state decided that creating a sign that was unique to that state was worth putting money into and worth maintaining. And not just one sign, but at every entrance point to the state. But the fun thing is, there's not a you are leaving in every state. It's like, you're here, we want you here. It's not, bye, you're leaving, get out, It's you're here, you're here, you're here. Almost like, don't leave. We like that you're here. We love that you're here. And, oh, by the way, we're the state of, like I'm in Virginia, so it's what is Virginia? Virginia is for lovers. So it's like we're welcoming everybody and telling you a little bit about ourselves. And that's, the idea of connection is, how many people do you say hello to? Probably a lot. You say, hi, hey, how you doing? Have a great day. And, you say that to strangers, and you say that to just, casually. But how many people are in your life that know at least one significant thing about you? Who are the people that you have opened up to that really know something about you? Kind of like, each state welcome sign says something about who they believe they are. And it's, how do you get connected with people? You got to open up.
Yeah, that's true.
So true. That's so beautiful.
Well,
Very true.
That's something that is pretty much the key right there, is being willing to open up yourself and
to talk.
Basically being able to connect with someone to the point where they open up quickly, which I love doing. I'm kind of masterful at that. If I can pat myself on the back for a second, because I've been doing it for a long time. In sales, I've been doing it, but aside from life, it's just part of who I am. And I enjoy it very much, and it's amazing what people will tell you when you do get them to open up in a very, very short period of time. Things that are wonderful, things about what brings them joy and why they are where they are and what they love about life and themselves. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because that was that was the connecting point. And so that's something that you love about yourself and that you're willing to share. So I'll share me. I know that I'm friendly. I'm friendly. I like being friendly. I like holding doors open. I like saying thank you. I like looking people in the eye and saying yes or no, have a nice day. I believe myself to be, I love what I do for a living. I love being a channeler, and I love being a medium, and I love giving readings. But I know that one of my fortes in my personality, I'm super, super friendly.
Right.
That's.
I will.
Who are you?
First I just want to say that you are so warm and so friendly, and you are so genuine, and I adore the person that you are, Carol. And I want to say that I have participated, I've been able to participate into the Art of Self-Healing classes, and there is such a feeling of family that you create in those classes. And so it doesn't matter where you are, if you're a beginner to channeling or if you've had lots of experience, that you welcome and you share and you smile, and it just warms the hearts, I think, of everybody in the class. And for me, one of the things that I like to do is I wander. I wander and I wonder. And I've always been, on my website, I said that I was a gifted treasure hunter, and I find that I like to find the treasures within people and help them see things that they might not be able to see about themselves. And it's something I think I've always sort of empathically done. Even as a child, I could feel if somebody was sad or left out, and it would really bother me. It would sort of, really tug at my heart, and I would always want to help and fix and maybe help them see something about themselves that they didn't see before. And I think that that's part of the wondering. Like, I would look at somebody and try to see their gifts and help them acknowledge who they were. And I think that both of you do that as well, and I have to applaud you for that. It's a wonderful gift.
You're really good at it, too. You're really, really good at it. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, you really are. It's like when you sit back and see somebody having a hard time, and you just say, well, I know that there's something I can do in this situation, and then you go find it, and you've chosen to identify something in their personality. So you've kind of honed in on what kind of where your thoughts are going to go. And it is helpful. I love hearing you talk. I could just sit here and listen to this podcast. I'm going to listen to this podcast again and again, I'm sure.
It's interesting. It's one of the things that we all have our little gifts and things, and I'm so glad that you shared yours, because that's the way I always have perceived you, Lisa.
Thank you.
It's just been one of those things that for me growing up as a kid, I've always had something about me has always made me easy to talk to. Something other people open up to me very, very, very easily, and it's been something that I've cherished, where I've been able to have perhaps help people shift their perspective, especially people who are having maybe a difficult moment in time, and just listening and maybe giving them a different perspective about what their situation is, so that they can maybe shift those thoughts to something more positive. And I had the best thing I can say is, when the best compliment you can have is when someone says, "Who are you?" And they say, "Who are you?" I love that when people say that, and it happens, and then at that particular point that you have struck a chord, and that you've actually hit that pivot point for them, where they have shifted, and they're acknowledging the fact that they have shifted their thoughts to something more positive or a different angle, and gotten out of their the negative thought. They've shifted it to something more positive, and to me, it's a gift and it's a blessing. And Carol, you are somebody who has helped to over the past few months, and I haven't known you very long, to continue that and expand upon that for me as I've gotten around it. It's kind of you've given me a different. You've expanded my mindset. And by understanding that I have this connection with my guide, and I'm always now aware of that connection, and am kind of alert to how what I'm doing has been, that I've been guided to do it. The thoughts that I have and the experiences that I have created or gone into. And I just came back from a wonderful trip to Turkey, and I had many, many of those experiences over there with a lot of different people. So I do thank you for that. And please carry on with this, because I just love it. I'm always in heaven when you're on the show.
Well, I wish I could say that was me. It's me, like it's my voice, but the thoughts that are conveyed to you as well as in classes, that's the voice from beyond. They're the words from the other side. And they are beautiful words, and they are perfect words, and they have perfect explanation, and they break things down into different ways depending on who they're talking to. They use logic, and they weave in just this beautiful, we don't judge kind of energy. You are who you are, where you are on that day, and that day only. And they don't look at yesterday or compare you to someone else. They just say, okay, this is where your thoughts are going, is where your thoughts are angling. And so we're going to speak to you where you stand today, here, right now. And that's something that people don't often do, because we have this natural tendency to say, I know this person. They're like this. This person is really, very inquisitive or very forthright or very courageous. But the projection is that's who they are. And maybe, law of attraction is real. And maybe the energy between the two people brought them together so that, you might have had 50 interactions with one person, and you believe that they're very courageous and very intelligent because all of your 50 interactions emphasized one or both of those. But that might be, and it's a portion of who we are. So the more people that we show our best side to, or our fun side to, or our friendly side to, or our courageous side too, then the more people see us for that and then believe that we are that. Mm-hmm. And then the less people that see that rougher side of us, then the less people know us as that. And it just, psychic energy is real. Mm-hmm. Psychic energy is not clairvoyant energy, and it's not channeled energy. Psychic energy is thoughts that you convey out into the world and the emotions that you convey out into the world, and then the world picks up on what you're putting out. And thoughts can be thoughts that you have in your own mind. Everybody thinks silently to themselves. Those thoughts are like thought bubbles that go out into the world. Here I am in Old Town Alexandria, and I was walking down King Street today, and there's this shoe store, Comfort Shoes, and on the second floor of Comfort Shoes, for no apparent reason, it's not even where the store is, it's probably where their offices are, they had this bubble machine. They had the window open and a bubble machine, and the whole street was filled with bubbles. Right. I looked up and I'm like, there's not a birthday party for a 5-year-old going on or a 55-year-old going on. I think I want one of those. But it was just the whole street was filled with bubbles. But that's what thought bubbles are. So when you have a thought, there's a bubble, and your thought is on the inside, but so are the emotions that you had at the time that you had the thought. And so every thought bubble is coupled with two things: a subject and one or more emotions. But unlike a soap bubble, those thought bubbles never pop, and they also have a date, time, and geographic stamp on them. And so those thoughts are in the world. So when you, Michael, were over in Turkey, you were experiencing Turkey, but you were also, the unconscious part of you, the subconscious mind, the unconscious part of you, was also surveying thoughts that people have had about Turkey while they were in Turkey. And so the mind gets acclimated to different kind of thought bubbles. And so law of attraction is training your mind to lean into, or preferring, that's probably a better way to say it, to preferring thought bubbles that have a smile face on the inside. Any subject, but a smile face. So it's like picking out the smile face thought bubbles that are in the air. And when you just, and how do you do that? You got to say things like, I always feel happy. Everything always feels good. I always have beautifully positive experiences. Every conversation is always good. I always meet friendly people. I always have happy experiences. Every day is full of happy experiences. When you say that over and over again, you train the unconscious part of you that goes out and finds experiences for you to have. We all are creating life, thought by thought by thought, moment by moment. But it's not the moment, it's the thought that comprises the moment. And so when you say things like, my day's always happy, I always have happy days, I'm such a happy person, and everybody I meet is happy, and that's the important add-on, then you just add to the momentum of positive law of attraction. And when you say things like always and every, then you're not limiting yourself by a certain subject or by a certain person or a certain, genre. You're just saying everything. I'm always happy everywhere. Everywhere I go, with everybody I meet on every subject, I'm always happy, and people are always happy with me. And then you get that two-sided, that two-way dialogue becomes pleasing on both ends. And then it just gets better and better and better. Mm-hmm. Happy thought bubbles. Tuning into happy thought bubbles.
I love that. And when you said that, it reminded me, because I always, again, it's the wonderment in my world is the word always. And I write things a lot of times, A-L-L, all ways, always, and A-L-W-A-Y-S, because really it is always, upside down, inside out, upside, backwards, sideways, whatever. If you start to see and choose beautiful thoughts, I do believe that you attract more of those into your reality. And we can see a beautiful sunset or a beautiful sunrise, and it doesn't mean that tomorrow won't be equally beautiful. It's just going to be different. It's just going to be a different way we're going to see the world. And I love those smiley face thought bubbles. I think it's going to be getting myself a bubble machine, an etheric bubble machine, just to put more smiley faces.
How can you not be happy seeing bubbles? I mean, it's like
right. How can you not be happy?
Experience of bubbles. Yeah. How can you not be happy? How can you not be joyful when that's what bubbles do. They make you feel amazing.
Right. So now, because I physically, literally witnessed seeing the bubble maker machine, not just a person with a wand, but a machine blowing bubbles and cascading across the whole street, I literally physically saw it. So now, when I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm sad, or if I stub my toe and it hurts really bad, if I focus back on seeing the bubbles cascading out of the second-story window, I have to feel happier, because that moment of witnessing it in person caused me happiness. So in the moment of strife, in the moment of upset, in the moment of bad news, in the moment of sad, in the moment of oh, I wish I didn't say that, I wish I hadn't just said that, then training yourself to go back to a memory where you were supremely joyful, it has to alter law of attraction, because law of attraction is emotion-based thinking. And emotion-based thinking, it's whatever is the most recent is what you are attracting. So, supersede anything negative with a happy visual memory, and then you must feel happier, and you must switch tracks from negative track to positive track. You have to.
That's a beautiful way of putting that, by the way.
Absolutely.
It was interesting because we were in Cappadocia after a balloon ride, a joyous morning sunset balloon ride, which is one of the things you go to Cappadocia for in the middle of Turkey. But my girlfriend was in the shower, and all of a sudden just started breaking out in laughter, just amazing. I'm on the other side of the hotel room, and I'm hearing her laugh like crazy. And I said, what in the world are you thinking about? And she's done this now about, 5 or 6 times since. Whenever she thinks about it, she just breaks out in laughter. But we were about to go up in the balloon. We were about to get into the balloon. And the balloon holds 24 people. So there are 4 sections, and the middle section is the pilot and his co-pilot. But we were trying to get into the balloon. There was 3 of us. And one of the guys said, no, go down there. So we quickly shuffled to one side to try and get in, because this balloon was ready to lift off. And then that guy down there said, no, run back, go to the other side. So we ran back to where we were. And then the guy over there said, no, go to the other side. And so we ran back. So I said, I told him, what do you think people are looking at us? They're looking at us from another balloon going, what are those people doing? Shuffling back and forth, not knowing which way to get in. It was absolutely hilarious. It was hilarious, just the thought of what we looked like going back and forth. And so whenever this thought comes up, when we think about this balloon ride, I said, we're going to be laughing about this forever. As one of those experiences. And those are experiences you really want to have in life. They're just spur of the moment, but they just bring you such joy, and you just can't stop laughing. It doesn't matter what you're thinking about. When you think about that, you just start laughing. And in my view, if we just fill our lives with just thousands of those experiences, we're going to be much better off for it. Those thought bubbles, those to me are the most amazing thought bubbles.
Yeah, I love it. So
it's so true.
Well,
and
the teachers are guiding this conversation, I can tell.
Well, before that, when you were talking about, the ability to tune in more so to the positive thoughts, and to really tap into what it is that you're meant to receive. And I think that's one of the amazing things about your work, Carol, in channeling and also in teaching. You have the unfoldment into channeling, and it's really about increasing your ability to receive. And so the ability to receive those positive thought bubbles, and then when the accuracy of what you're doing and how you connect with your guides and how you can actually utilize that. I know that that's one of the greatest gifts that you have given both Michael and I is the reconnection to our guides, where we actually, you get busy with life and you forget that you have this other source that you can tap into and say, I did the other day, I just surrendered. I said, look, this is so much. I need your help. I was just so overwhelmed, and I had to say stop, and the overwhelm, to be into a space where now I'm underwhelmed. I feel like, wow, this is great. I felt this weight of the world lifted off my shoulders, and I'm enjoying the sunshine and the warm fall weather, and just everything. I mean, and I think that connection is really important. So if there's it's something that you could share with our audience, and even when the next Unfoldment into Channeling class, if somebody is interested in signing up, it's just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I will say I love being a channeled person, and the classes are channeled. My readings and the energy attunement readings are all channeled. The interviews always include channeling, and workshops are channeled. So the content of the unfoldment classes, and it's unfoldment into channeling, but you've got to go through the process of increasing intuition, stepping into clairvoyance, and then progress into channeling. So all of those classes are channeled. It's their conversation, their instruction, not mine. And every single week I am just as enthusiastic and surprised at what the content is as all of the students. I hear it as everybody's hearing it. So the new session, I have Unfoldment into Channeling on Mondays and Self-Healing using energy techniques on Tuesdays. And I do them 48 weeks out of the year, so 12-week sessions. I group them into 12 weeks just to make it easy on myself, and so I have session 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're January through December, and so basically it's every 3 months. So the next session, which is session 4 for 2023, begins October 2nd, and it runs for 12 consecutive weeks. The classes are ongoing instruction. It's not a 12-week program. It's not a one and done. It's ongoing weekly classes that I personally group into 12-week segments. And the same thing with the self-healing using energy techniques. So they're grouped in weeks of 12, and you can sign up for them on my website. I have a really cool membership program going. 2 of them actually. One is I have a gold and a platinum. The gold is you get every monthly Q&A workshop with the teachers for $50 a month. It's pretty inexpensive. And the platinum is unlimited Monday night classes, unlimited Tuesday night classes, unlimited monthly workshops, and a slew of other things for like $150 a month. So it's about 145 live classroom hours with the teachers of Jeshua, and you get all kinds of time to ask them questions and really dive into what your personal strengths are, what your guide is working on with you or for you in your meditation sessions, practical applications. I ask them all the time for tips, tools, and practical skills, not fluffy law of attraction. And I did say that when this ability just blossomed in me. I do remember very distinctly having a conversation where I said, would you please could you teach law of attraction and bring out some practical skills, some things that people can actually use, because people are so mixed up. It's like, can you, so I was very, insistent. And they go into the mechanics of what law of attraction is and how it has to do with our thinking process and our emotional process, but also that emotion and thoughts are energy. And they go into all the nitty-gritty details they can get very specific with certain groups of students. And so it's a really fun time. So the thing is, if anybody is a serious student and you really want to dive in, you got to stick with it. It's not a come to class for a few weeks and then get the gist of it and then you're a practicing medium. It's not like that at all. It's like learning a foreign language. The conversation that comes from the non-physical dimension is a vibrational signature with intelligent thought weaved in it. And the subconscious mind of each human individual needs to learn to translate that conveyance of information. Abraham calls it a block of thought. The teachers of Jeshua call it a block of thought. They said that's what they all teach. It is a conveyance of intelligent information that is vibrationally sent through the dimensions. And you don't learn that overnight. And it's a process, and it's a process that has to be learned in silent meditation. And so that's what the classes are all about. So it's platinum membership is really for anybody that says this is really what I want to do. I want to be somebody that is a practicing medium, clairvoyant or channeled. And the Tuesday classes are for somebody that really wants to understand how energy healing techniques, how it works, and how to use it for yourself or for others. So it's like 50% off of joining the classes individually. So those are fun.
Wow.
The workshops are fun. I have those once a month. They're 2 hours, and it's nonstop Q&A. We get as many questions in as we can. And the memberships, you get the archive of everything, which is really good.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And I just want to give your website. So it's americas-medium.com. So it's americas-medium.com. And what is so amazing, it's not like, when people think of class, they think of, having a textbook and going through. Oh, no, that's not what it is at all. I mean, when you begin the class, I think even you don't know what the guides are going to be bringing through. And it's really what's needed for the whole group. And it's just phenomenal. I can't say enough about it. There's just so many golden nuggets and to be able to watch the replays and to really practice it. And so yesterday I just a change of season. I had a little bit of a dull ache in my one knee that I wrecked when I was many years ago. And you can always sort of feel it. And I just took my hands and did the placement, and it was like, okay, it eased what was the challenge, and whatever it was, it seemed to dissipate. So I was very grateful for that.
So just a little insight into that. So in that all over the body, but there's a concentrated amount in the hands and some other places. There's like a looping of source frequency that is in the energy field, but it loops up and then back in. It's like a loop, and it's looping in the palm of the hand. So when you place that on your knee, then your guide, your specific guide, is then using the infusion of the looping on your hand and the looping on your knee. When they go together, it causes like a push through the energy field, and then your guide uses intuitive thought to tell the body what it needs to do to feel better. So we're participants, but your guide is always the healer. And so that's always a fun thing, because even in those things are, you just have your hand hurts, and you're holding grocery bags in both hands, and one arm is starting to hurt because it's heavy. Your hands are not free to use the hands-on participation. So it's just look up and to the right, or think to yourself, would you take care of my arm, please, because it's starting to hurt. And the more you do that, it's law of attraction based. It's causing your own inner mind to rely on your non-physical guide to take care of your physical aches and pains. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, in order to take care of the ache and pain, they have to take care of the emotional ache and pain, because You can't have a physical ache and pain without an emotional ache and pain. So the two go together, and the emotion comes first. So they're always there, and they're always helping. They're always aware of you, 24/7.
That's amazing. It really is, and we don't think about those options being available to us, which I think is so valuable in the teachings, because you think, oh, okay, well, I can get this pharmaceutical medication, or I can use this cream or this, and really all we need to do is open up to what's available to us to use, which is our connection to our guides that we get disconnected from somehow. And I'd love for you to speak about that a little bit. Is there? I know, because I see it with kids, they seem to be a lot more connected to their guides. Is there souls that come in that sort of have a greater connection, or how is it that is it life that disconnects us, or emotions? I'd love to have some clarification on that.
It is the emotions. It is the emotions. And
okay.
So children have not had as many days. Every day is filled with experiences, and every single experience has one or more emotions that are coupled with it. So it's like the thought bubble idea. If you're a 5-year-old, you've got 5 years worth of thought bubbles that you have created and that you've bumped into, that you've tuned into. But a 50-year-old has 50 years of creating thought bubbles and tuning into everybody else's thought bubbles. So there's more accumulation. So children are not more connected than adults. We're all connected. We're all, the way they describe it is, we're tethered to our guide. There's a non-physical structure called the energy field, and that energy field has it's like a cord. They often refer to it as a cord, and your guide is at the other end of the cord, and they never leave it. They never, ever, ever leave it. They don't ever take a nap. They don't go on vacation. They don't take a coffee break. They don't take, I'll be back in 15 minutes. They're always, for your entire lifespan, the entire lifspan, while you're sleeping, while you're groggy, while you're cranky, while you're happy, they're always at the other end of that cord. So the unconscious part of us, which Abraham calls it the inner being. They call it the inner being, but they also call it the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind has to be at the base of that cord to receive the healing and the conversation that's coming through, or the training to learn how to translate the conversation that's coming through. So the subconscious mind of infants is always at the base of that cord. They're highly intuitive, and that's how they learn. How does a child learn to open their mouth and suckle? How does a child learn to roll over or push themselves up? How is a child learning those things? Because parents aren't teaching them. They're just caring for them day by day. And 6 months goes in, and all of a sudden they're able to sit up on their own. How did they learn that? That's because their guide at the other end of that cord is intuiting to them how to function in the physical body. And so as an infant, the subconscious mind, the inner being, is always at the base of the cord. And then as there's more things to listen to and learn and do and talk about, understand, then it starts to move away from the cord. Now in meditation, and it's a powerful thing to teach children to silently meditate for just a couple of minutes a day, is that the unconscious part of you is drawn back to the cord. It's like creating a habit. You can go off and play, but remember that the subconscious mind is not your body, and it's not your conscious thoughts. It's the unconscious part of you that is creating what your conscious life will be. So that unconscious part of you shifts away from the cord, but it has to be drawn back to it. But people don't learn to meditate silently as an everyday practice. You're taught brush your teeth, but you're not taught meditate and then brush your teeth. So as you get older and older, then the inner being starts to forget where the cord is, and that's when, people start getting physical problems. We don't get old and cranky and old and, aches and pains for no reason. We are not, the unconscious part of us is not aligning to the base of that cord on a consistent basis to get regenerative healing. We wouldn't have aches and pains if we learned to meditate for a handful of minutes from the time we were about 3 or 4. We would just constantly have regenerative healing, and then we would have life experience without significant aches and pains. So,
wow.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's the Tuesday night class material. They talk all about, but it's a weaving of, so the Teachers of Jeshua, and people call them the guides, they call them the collective, they call them Jeshua, they call them the teachers. My daughters just call them my people. They just say, Mom, can you ask for people? And it's fun. I like when they do that. Yeah, my peeps.
The people.
And so, yeah, I know, it's like kind of funny. And so in the Tuesday night classes, they just provide full, broad spectrum everything about the essential material. So, they always say that my abilities are very similar to many others, but my belief system has altered because of the energy work that I do. And because my belief systems has altered, they're able to teach the 4 subjects that they would teach through any channeled person. So the essential material, 4 pillars of learning, are the 4 categories of information that non-physical teachers would like to teach human population. Pillar 1 is the foundation material. Non-physical beings exist in concert with physical beings, and that they are real, and that they are available, and how and why physical life occurs. So that's pillar 1. Pillar 2 is thoughts create your reality. Pillar 3 is self-healing and all the ways to do it. Pillar 4 is unfoldment into your ability to verbally communicate with your guide. So when you combine the content of those 4, then the knowledge within, the non-physical knowledge within starts to rise to the surface, and then suddenly you feel better, and your abilities to verbally communicate with your non-physical team just becomes better and better and better and better. So I guess through me, it's a unique situation. I don't channel just law of attraction-like things. My channeling is not highly spiritual or religious or in that single lane. It's down to earth, real life examples. They use logic, they use activities, and they use playful kind of analogies. But they get down to the nitty gritty of the mechanics of what law of attraction is, why it is, how to make it work for you, and then if mediumship from a clairvoyant or a channeled perspective, or progressing all the way to be a really qualified channeler. When you're a channeler, then they decide which of the 4 pillars they're going to teach through you. And normally it's law of attraction, pillar 2. And I just, this is a blessed lifetime for me because they teach all 4 pillars. And so they weave the material, they weave all of it together, and then it's almost like, we were talking before the show about unanswered questions. When you weave all 4 of the pillars together, there leaves no unanswered question. You get it. I'm very blessed to be able to have them speak on all 4 topics.
Can you speak to Carol to there's some people out there who I know I've connected with. I live in the Bible Belt, and a lot of people who have been indoctrinated with religion, their first go-to is that when you talk about a guide or whatever, they have a religious connotation, And so what they've learned or what they've been indoctrinated with or exposed to is sort of in conflict with the concept that with the concept of a guide who's there to help you. Can you speak to how you move past that or how you deal with that?
Well, me personally, I let everybody have their own beliefs. Mm-hmm. And it does, because I'm a human being, there is human emotion. Right. And when somebody pushes their religious beliefs on me, there can be some frustration. But after the frustration, there's forgiveness, and then there's just realization that they are who they are. But, right. Every religion has an iconic figure that is a savior of sorts. And so there's something to be said for believing in the afterlife. And there's mm-hmm. something to believing that we are being guided. And so if you call whoever is guiding us, whoever is available, whoever is our cooperative component, our co-creator, whoever is the group of beings that guardian us, there's so many different ways to describe it, is that they're not intermittently available. They are vigilant on who we are, what we are manifesting, what we are not manifesting, and why. And from a religious perspective, there's an iconic figure who believed greatly in love is the way,
right,
and that God is real, God by whatever name. So,
source.
When I look at that, right, source, it could be God, it could be, whatever that religion's figure is that, when I compare that to the essential material and what the teachers of Jeshua teach, love is the way. Well, happy emotion corrects the buildup of negative emotion, and negative emotion is what doctors call stress, and stress is the basis of all physical problems. So love is the way. When you focus on love, you focus on positive emotion. When you focus on positive emotion, you have a healthier outlook and a healthier physical body and a healthier life. And when you do that all by itself, external from religion, you're still on a better path because you're getting the mindset that you need to be a healthy, functioning person in the world. Having an understanding that there really is life after this physical life, that's just where beliefs come in. And religions promote believing that there is life after this physical life. So,
yeah.
I'm not religious, but I certainly I am. You couldn't dissuade me. There's nothing that you could give me that would dissuade me from believing that the team of people that communicate out loud through me are from my own subconscious. It's not memories that I'm just dredging up from somewhere. There right. are a team of people that have their eye on me constantly. Jesus called it the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And I'm not unaware of the Christian Bible. It's how I was raised. And so when Jesus called upon the Holy Spirit, well, modern day language is my guide or my team of guides.
Mm-hmm.
Well put.
And so
it's
a modern term for the non-physical vibrational being that never leaves our side for our entire life.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, and it made me think a little bit when I went to 4-year college, and then I went back to the Integrative Institute for Nutrition, and you realize that there isn't one dietary theory that's right for anybody. Some people it's keto, sometimes it's paleo, vegetarianism, whatever you choose. You kind of have to find your right path and discern what is right for you. And I think that it's the same thing whether you want to call it spirituality, whatever source information, whatever you choose, you have to find what makes the most sense. But I think the greatest thing is to know that you have a connection and that we do have somebody that is able to help us stay, really to expand our awareness. And I really love the fact that, the meditation, and one of the things that, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, was that the collective talked about the importance of nature and looking around. And they mentioned something else that was so beautiful in the class, that when you're driving down the road and you see a billboard and you focus on one thing, you go pink. It's like that bubble. It's like when you said that, it made me smile. And I thought, oh, okay. And so it's teaching you, I think, to see the world from a different perspective, or maybe not even a different perspective, but to really open your eyes to all of the wonderful things that are around that we may have gotten disconnected from.
It's choosing what to focus on purpose.
Mm.
Excuse me. And so I sneezed. There's got to be an I don't know somewhere. We just talked about that before.
Yeah, what is up with that?
I don't know. Well, you know what? It's funny because I just got a text message that showed up as 86688, and I don't know who sent that message, and so there's all kinds of I don't knows that show up. There's all kinds of I don't knows, and so it's just, but when you think about focusing on something happy on purpose, so you could have a billboard for a law firm that deals with divorce attorney. It could be a billboard for a divorce attorney. Now, that's not a happy subject, but the background or the lettering could be in pink, or could be in, orchid, or there could be, some element. If your eyes landed on a divorce attorney billboard, you've got anger and or fear rising in what they call the grid. That's the subconscious mind. You've got anger and or fear rising, because if you had joy rising, your eyes would not have landed on that billboard. That's what law of attraction is. So law of attraction, the momentum of anger and or fear was rising and stepped forward, and the billboard was in the same proximity, and so your eyes landed on it. But the minute that your eyes land on it and you see divorce attorney, you can choose to focus on, there's a series of 8s in that number. I love 8s. 8s are fun. 8s are good. 8s are like a swirl. I love swirls.
4s. Lots of those.
You could, or 4s, and you could just go on a small little there's really no other word beside rampage. And it's so funny because Abraham has coined that word, a rampage of appreciation. And I remember at one point I was having a conversation with the teachers, and I said, but rampage, to me, a rampage is like negative emotion. That's like forcing your opinion. And they said, well, so rampage is not the right word for you, but soliloquy just doesn't fit, does it? And I said, no, but neither does lecture. So what is it? So they said, but a rampage could be forcing positive opinion. And they said, but the word itself to me has a little bit of a negative connotation because there's a little bit of a forcing in the word rampage. And they said, well, break out the thesaurus and find a different word. Don't sit there and stew over the understanding. Rampage of appreciation is you just go on this, mind stroll of all these positive things in succession. So it's like, you get on a beautiful train of thought, and that's what a rampage of appreciation is. And they said, but don't sit there in the quandary of should I or should I not use the word rampage. Just open up a thesaurus and find a different word and settle the negative emotion right here and right now. So when you look at a billboard as an example, and the billboard itself is promoting something that is in the world, might be necessary, but is also an indication of unhealthy thoughts and unhealthy relationships, pick something on that billboard to love on because your eyes landed on the billboard. So you got to tell the inner mind what to focus on. You landed on the billboard, okay, but now focus on this. It's kind of like when you're you know, as a parent and a child is learning something new, you teach them focus, you know, focus on what you're doing and nothing else. Focus on what you're doing, nothing else. Because, you know, you get to choose what to focus on.
Well, I got to say,
so focus on something that makes you happy.
So true. I'm always catching, by the way, the 444s. I'm always catching the phone number 444-4444. That, to me, that's why I think to myself, that's why I was supposed to look at the board, is because 444 is my guide saying, hey, look at the fours. You know, I'm here. I'm always with you. I'm connected to you. I'm tethered to you, and it brings a smile to my face. You know, so that's what
the thing is that could be true. But let's say that you do, and you love fours, okay. So you could be passing a billboard or a building or a license plate or anything, and there could be a bunch of fours on it. And so law of attraction, because you like fours, you like a series of fours. So you've got a quantity of memory in there that says I, comma, like the number fours and series of fours. So that's what law of attraction is, creating a habit of memory. So law of attraction could be guiding you to more fours. But it could also be intuition, where your guide is asking your mind to turn your head and look your eyes to find something that would create more joy for you. So it could be either or. Either or. Yeah.
Based on the thought I'm having in that moment, right?
Yep, right.
That's right.
Yeah,
well,
no, that's wonderful. And I you know, time goes by so quickly, but I want to mention that for any of our listeners that would like to learn more about the Yeshua Collective and Carol Collins, please go to americas-medium.com, and it's you will find information on, and I want to mention real quick, because there, you know, a lot of people at the end of the year, they try to think about their resolutions, about what they want. And you are offering a workshop, Manifesting with Ease workshop on December 28th in the evening. And it really, I think it's really how you set a positive mindset for what you want to envision, where all things can be possible coming into the next year. And there's just so many things, and I know Michael mentions it pretty much every week that he tunes into your YouTube channel, and I'd love for you to leave our audience with something. We only have like 2 minutes left, but I'm so grateful, and we would love to have you back. It's always such a delight. It just goes by so quickly, so it does.
Yeah. The Manifest with Ease, it's a channeled 2-hour workshop. So I always like to say this: I'm not presenting anything. I'm not an expert at anything. I am, because I've learned a lot of things. But when it comes to manifesting things and all the things that Yeshua and the Teachers of Jeshua teach, I just hand the microphone over to them, because they know what people need to know in that moment in time. So Manifest with Ease is a Thursday night, and it's sandwiched between the end of the Christmas holiday and New Year, and it's all about vision boarding and how not to do it, how not to use a physical vision board. So there's so many people that are walking into the new year with vision boards, and they're going to really spend a lot of time talking about the downside of a physical vision board, whether it's a computer vision board or literally a poster board. The imagery, why imagery is the wrong way to manifest your upcoming year. So they're going to talk about that, and they're going to talk about a new strategy that works every single time. And when you get really good at that strategy, then you draw positive experiences to you in general, and then you draw the specific positive experience that you're hoping to get. So it's all about vision boarding and why not to do it. But they're not going to leave you hanging. They're going to give you a different and better way to manifest what you've got on your wish list for the coming year.
Great.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Carol and Michael, and to the Yeshua Collective. It has just been an absolute delight, and I'm so looking forward to our next conversation. And again, please do go to americas-medium.com. It's just, there's so many things, and plus you get to see Carol's beautiful, friendly smile. So that's even better.
And my cat,
beautiful face.
My cats always show up.
That's wonderful.
They do.
Well, until next. Go ahead, please.
No, they do. Go ahead. Finish it out. It's awesome. It was a great day.
I just wanted to say thank
Great
you.
episode.
Yeah, it's just absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
we love being here every time.
A blessing. Thank you.
It's a great conversation with both of you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. All right. Take care. Thank you.